So Cam, have you ever played Battle for Middle-earth?
I have. I used to play it all the time when I was younger.
The first or the second one?
Both. Yeah, it's like this old Lord of the Rings RTS where you can play as the various factions, and yeah, I used to play it all the time.
Is it closer to an Age of Empires or like a Dawn of War kind of thing? Or
Very Age of Empires-esque, I'd say.
right, so do you build bases?
Yeah, you build bases, kind of try and, take out the enemy base and stuff like that.
In terms of like factions, is there a lot of stuff from the films, or is it more in its own thing? Is it?
Yeah, it's got pretty much all the factions from the films, including... You've also got this cool hero designer that you had where you could design your own hero and add attributes and stuff. It's very, very cool.
Oh, well, you might be quite excited with what I've got to show you today, because there's been some fan projects going on. And obviously these fan projects will probably be taken down eventually, but for now, they're still going. So I thought I'd present to you something you might be quite excited with.
So something I'm never going to get to play, probably.
You probably won't get to play this, but you might. So this is Battle for Middle-earth Reforged. So it's a complete overhaul / rework / fan remaster of Battle for Middle-earth 2, as far as I know. This was the first trailer that we actually got. This came out in 2018, and it didn't show all too much, but I think it got people pretty excited. I mean, are you wanting some sort of remaster?
I mean, yeah, I'd love to play it. I don't think you can even buy it anymore. I think they took it off everything.
Is it not like on Steam?
No, I don't think so. I think you have to pirate it.
Yeah, but you wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't.
You wouldn't know anything about this pirating. How's your Plex server doing?
What? I mean, it looks great. I mean, obviously not like brand new game great, but I mean, I'd happily play that compared to the old ones.
I love the look and the scale of the army, and obviously whacking people into walls. Obviously, I didn't play too much of the first one, but it looks just from the trailers and the bits of gameplay that they've improved a bit more than just the graphics. Because at the end, this isn't just a remaster. This is like a full fan remake of the game.
So they've made it completely from ground up.
Look at that! He's got the light thing. That's the film thing. They did that in the film.
In the film.
Dumbledore.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's one of them.
And the wall. And the fire.
It's the Balrog.
Yes.
Remember that, lad?
So the Balrog is going to be in this game as well. Were there like big bosses and stuff in the first game?
Yeah, you had your hero units, which were like the big bad ones. You could get dragons, you could get all that fun stuff.
Could you play as the Nazgul?
The Nazgul, you could.
Could you grab them Nazgul titties?
Yeah, I don't know, but is this in this one?
I don't think there's any Nazgul titty grabbing, but we get our first little look at like the bases when you start off. Look at the design of those lads.
It looks amazing.
They look really cool. So yeah, this was the first little bit of trailer, but it gets more exciting than that, because I think what we're about to see is some of the first gameplay. Look, it's the eagle.
Do they have the campaign and stuff?
They're the whirly-dirlies.
I love a good whirly-dirly.
They're in The Hobbit, aren't they?
Only in like the extended cut, weirdly.
Oh. Maybe I've only seen the extended cut.
Yeah.
When we got to 2020, we got a bit of gameplay. Our first bit of gameplay. And this was like a long bit of gameplay as well. It was quite exciting.
Oh, they've added first person.
Yeah. Well, that...
Was it in the original
They've added
game?
third person, because you see we were behind the character.
Yeah, very true.
It's first person when you're in the character. So first is in, third is behind.
You see, I've never played a video
So
game
you
before.
third person every Friday night, don't you? Because you're always behind the character on Friday nights.
Yeah.
But
Sometimes
on Mondays you're first because you're in the character. Does this look different to the original games, or does it look just like more refined?
I mean, it looks a hell of a lot better, but also I think you have that thing of nostalgic where, you know, you see old games and you think they were better than they were. And
Do you know like how last night we played Star Wars Battlefront 2?
Exactly like that, where it's just pixelated and horrible. It might be because it's on modern displays as well, to be fair. Oh, I remember they have the little guys that fish them out of the pits.
What do you mean they fished them out of the pit?
Look, he's pulling.
Oh shit!
Yeah, and they go down a little slide. The models are very cool.
Are they doing it?
And
that's
how they make them in the film.
Well, in the film they just bring them out the mud. They don't go down a slide, do they?
I think the slide was off. You know, it was inferred.
Inferred, yeah. Like at Wacky Warehouse, when you can't quite get out of the ball pit, but it's inferred that if you do, there'll be a slide at the other end. This is our look at like the animations, the idle animations of the troops. The orcs look pretty nice, actually. I quite like them. I want to see them siege Helm's Deep, though.
Well, technically, they're Urukai.
Well, technically... Are these builders?
Yeah, they're the little builder units that you have to make.
Do you know what was quite fascinating? Do you know how Age of Empires started like remastering all their games?
Yeah.
And it was when I played so much Age of Empires 2, but when Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition came out, I was like, wow, I had no idea that the troops actually had like belt bits and buckles and stuff, which they do in the original Age of Empires 2, but it just looks like pixels in that.
Just like half a pixel.
So talk me through the start of the game. How does it work?
Well, if you're playing just like a skirmish, you know, you start with like your little base, you have to build it up, you build your different buildings to make your different units. You've got all that fun stuff going on, typical RTS kind of thing. There's also the campaign, which was great as well.
Is that a little bit like the Age of Empires campaign where you have like different characters and different like more linear missions?
Yeah, very much so.
Okay, well, we get our look at the third person that they're adding in. Now, they've stated many, many times that this is not a big portion of the game. This is just an extra addition that they wanted to add in for a bit of fun. It's still solely an RTS game, but you can take control of any characters you want.
Can you actually, can you do the combat in it, or?
Well, I'd assume so. But later on, we got our most current developer blog. This one came out a few months ago now, and this starts to show us some of the real nitty-gritty of what this game... That is terrifying. I actually hate
I mean, it's a great model, though.
Yeah, is that Aragog?
Aragog, yeah, from
the Weeping Willow
magic wizard thing.
Of Waverly Place.
Yeah, I think that's the one.
Okay. So we get a look at some of the models that they've been working on, and they are actually terrifying. I kind of love them and hate them at the same time. But imagine on the battlefield, you with your army, or even in the third person mode, you're just wandering about. Then all of a sudden you go around a corner and your nan is there.
Wait, I didn't realize. Wait, did they model it on your nan? Do we have a release date?
So... So no. So in terms of the original game, which is what we're going to go off your knowledge of, do you have different buildings for recruiting different troops, I'm assuming?
Yeah, very Age of Empires-esque like that. So you have your different buildings, you build your different units, or your buildings get destroyed, and you cry a lot, I think, is the usual way of doing it. So are all the units going to be posed like that at all times?
Yeah, I think this is the Elven T-posing unit. Oh, wait, no, it's not. Oh, look at that, how muscly that fucking horse is. Jesus Christ.
I would fuck that horse.
What are your final thoughts on Battle for Middle-earth Reforged, Remastered, Refined Edition 2?
I think it's going to be the best game I'll never get to play because they will get cancelled.
Yeah, you see, that is the problem with these fan remasters that have a lot of effort put into them, and they've been working on this for like 4 years now, as far as I know.
That would be crushing.
And imagine if Lord of the Rings comes through and just takes it down, because they're doing this for free, obviously, because they have to. They can't make a commercial of it. But because Lord of the Rings is now becoming big again with Amazon and the new TV show, they're going to crack down really hard, I think.
Well, because they've never released the original game on any store, I wonder who owns the rights to it. Maybe it's one of those
things.
Isn't
it EA?
You would have thought they'd re-release it, because they would make a lot of money off that.
Maybe they just hire these guys.
That would work if they just paid these guys and let them release
just put their EA's name on it, even though no one really wants that. But
yeah,
at least it'll get released.
And then they'll probably fire the whole dev team after they've worked on it, like EA often do.
So, out of 10, what are you going to rate it?
I mean, from what I've seen, I'd give it a solid 8. More wobbly spiders, and it might go up to a 9 or a 10.
Okay, 8 out of 10 needs more wobbly flesh.
I do love some wobbly flesh.